Hello, everyone. I hope you are okay today. We are going to start the chapter 4 of our book, which is in the level 2. And today, I wanted to emphasize on something. I want to emphasize on the exercises. We give the vocabulary, we explain it into French, and sometimes we don't give the examples. So today, we also add examples for each word you discovered. That will help you memorize or keep them for the future. So these are the specific things we have today in addition. So you'll be having your vocab as usual, then the bonus. Vous allez avoir le vocabulaire comme d'habitude et le bonus à la fin. So stick to the end to have this bonus as usual. Episode 4, Chapter 4. Luck or grace? Luck does not exist. You create it yourself. I'm sure you have heard of it. Every time you let opportunity pass you by, you have just killed a chance. And every time you seize an opportunity, you create a chance for yourself to succeed. In short, what I mean is, don't wait for things to come to you. Go get them yourself. In 2012, it was hard to find a job in Lomé. When you are a young graduate with no experience, I had friends who were hanging around at home because there weren't enough jobs in the country. They were blaming everything on the government and waiting for the government to save them. That same year, I found 2 jobs by dint of my own hard work. As the saying goes, he who seeks finds. The same goes for money. He who seeks finds. All the self-made billionaires we know have seized opportunities at some point in their lives. Towards the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st century in Nigeria, businessmen and even politicians were only interested in oil, the country's primary source of wealth. Aliko Dangote noticed that there was a need for a cement industry in the country. He threw himself into it, and in a few years, he became not only the richest man in Africa, but also the richest black man in the earth in modern time. But he had started small, with a store, then a cement industry, after a logistic company, and etc. Start small, but dream big. Start small, but dream of coming big. I will even say very big. One of the handicaps is that people dream too small. But remember, you will get what you think about every day. In 2020, when the whole world was in the grip of the coronavirus crisis, an entrepreneur specializing in the distribution of tomato purees took advantage of the situation of people being locked down into their homes to offer a promotion on his natural local tomato purees and tomato cans. Since they are easier to keep for longer, as people needed to stock up on the most important foodstuffs to be able to survive when they were locked in their homes, they ordered a lot of tomato purees and cans. This entrepreneur ended up with a high turnover, while 90% of companies worldwide were in economic crisis. What did I do during this period? As we were dealing in services and training, I was compelled to put some of the staff of my main company on pay leave for a month. Then I took the opportunity to take some time off. I hadn't had any real time off for 4 years. It was also during this period that I wrote the book you are reading right now. One last real life case. In the same year, the global crisis caused by the coronavirus, a friend of mine had an event business. Since he couldn't do anything in his core business because parties, events, and all kind of gatherings were forbidden in Lomé during that period, he simply put the whole company on rotation and telecommunicating teams. He then concentrated on PPE, personal protective equipment, face masks, gels, gloves, camouflages, etc. After noticing that these were in short supply in the region, he had sold to Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and Gabon. After the crisis, he reopened his old business just like me. That is what we entrepreneurs call luck. In every difficulty, we see opportunities. The losers always see problems in every opportunity. It is amazing that people don't see the opportunities around them. Grace now comes into play when the spiritual enters the scene. You have already seen people who have tried everything, but it still doesn't work for them. They are dynamic, strong-willed, and all, but nothing works. Almost everyone recognizes that there is a force or intelligence greater than us, the creative force of the universe or the force of good. You can call him God if you like, just as I do. Likewise, almost everyone knows that there is another force that is antagonistic to God, the force of evil. Some call him Lucifer or Satan. If you want to succeed without losing your soul, you must follow God's principle, and he will grant you his grace, and everything you touch will work. I do not master the Gospels, but it is in the Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. Seek first the kingdom and the righteousness of God, and all these things will be added to you. Now, the conclusion with the bonus, as usual. I know you are waiting for the bonus and the vocabulary, so let me give it to you. The first one, by dint of, it means grâce à, ou bien via quelque chose. For example, I found 2 jobs by dint of my own hard work. Number 2, the saying. It means le dicton, ou bien l'adage. But we also say the adage, the saying, the adage, synonym. For example, as the saying goes, he who seeks finds. Number 3, wealth, the wealth, la fortune. The country's primary source of wealth was oil. Number 4, tomato purees, le purée de tomate. An entrepreneur specializing in the distribution of tomato purees. 5, cans, les boîtes de conserve. Tout le monde connaît ça. Example, local tomato purees and tomato cans. 6, foodstuff, les denrées alimentaires, comme les ingrédients pour faire la sauce. Foodstuff. People needed to stock up on the most important foodstuffs. Number 7, turnover, the turnover It means chiffre d'affaires, comme en affaires, comme en entreprise. This entrepreneur ended up with a high turnover. 8. Paid leave. Un congé payé. Yeah. I was compelled to put some of the staff of my main company on paid leave for a month. 9. Core. It means essentiel, ou bien le principal. His main business, his core business. Okay? For example, since he couldn't do anything in his core business. 10. Forbidden. Forbidden means interdit. Hein? Bien, interdite, ça dépend. Avec le français, c'est machin de. For example, gatherings were forbidden in Lomé. Et le verbe dérivé, c'est to forbid, hein? Le verbe interdire. 11. Gloves. Or des gloves. Les gants, comme à l'hôpital. For example, you have face masks, gels, gloves, camouflages, etc. By the way, for etc., some people say etc. It's okay. Huh? You can say etc. No problem. 12. Righteousness. Righteousness means la justice ou bien la droiture. And for example, seek first the kingdom and the righteousness of God, and all these things will be added to you. Okay? So we've come to the end of this video. I hope you love it. Share it as much as possible. Share it to your friends. Share it to your family. And see you in the next video.